Here's a life lesson that I've learned the hard way. You've probably heard something like it before, but I'm going to say it again in my own way. You cannot please everybody. If you try, you will end up being unhappy. So it's a sacrifice. If you're that type, you have to understand that by not pleasing everybody, if you please everybody around you, that only leaves you left being unpleased, right? Uh, a more common, quick way of saying it is like haters are going to hate. You have to understand that too. Sometimes your happiness is going to make other people unhappy. It's a bummer. It is. Um, but there are a lot of bummers when it comes to people and psychology and what they've been through, and everybody's different experiences. Sometimes there's jealousy involved, like when they see you happy, they're like, oh, what do they have that I don't have, or what privilege or whatever. um, and they're going to think that regardless of how hard you've tried to get what you have or to go where you are, you know to see what you've seen. And you just have to understand that. So don't be afraid of the word selfish when it comes to the idea of your own well-being, because you have to think of this. When you extrapolate and you think about how much good you can do and how many people you can help if you're in a good mood and you're taken care of and you're healthy, then those others that aren't being helped by you, that maybe see you as a threat or just like something that they wish they were, or something that makes them think they're less than they like to think themselves as, I guess. They're gonna think that, and it's a lot less of the number of people that you can influence. So that's what you have to think about. You have to think about how much good you can do, and like putting yourself out there and what that can mean, and how there's people that are just gonna hate seeing you just walk in the room or talk, or there's ways that people can be that set themselves up to be more influential, right? So like the more people that you can help, the more people that appreciate you, the more people also that don't like you. And that's on them. That's not on you. If you're trying to do good and you're doing good, and every time you do something that you regret, like you really need to dwell on the regret for a bit. And after you've done that, even if people are judging you for your mistakes, you can still say that everybody makes mistakes, and the whole reason we learn most of what we learn is through mistakes. So, yeah, don't let other people drag you down. You only have so much energy. It's another thing. You only have so much energy to give. Literally, like you got to keep the fire burning. And if you're keeping others warm and sharing and sharing and sharing, and they're reciprocating and all that kind of stuff, but if somebody's just coming in and taking from that, and they're not giving anything back, you're going to end up running out. And so that's the idea of people pleasing. Yeah, there are many times in my life where I have accepted and planned for and wanted people to not like me, certain people, very specific people to not like me. So, like in jobs that I've had, there were large groups of people that thought I was like the best person on the team, and there were other people on the team that were like, man, he's making me look bad. So dwell on that too. If somebody's saying, oh, you make me look bad, you don't make anybody else look like anything. You're not trying to deceive people, hopefully, right? If you're just doing your own thing, you're trying to be the best as you can be, that's just making yourself look good. Even if that's not the original goal, like to make yourself look good, you're just trying to help people. Do the best that you could do. Work to the best of your ability. Then people with less ability or less enthusiasm or dedication or motivation are going to see you as a threat. And you have to accept that, but you also have to see when the threat grows too large and you have to find a new place. Because it's like having a fire. I've talked about this in another video. Wherever it takes, right? You have an ember, you have a fire, and if you're trying to start a fire just on a really kind of random spot, or a spot that you just happen to be in and it's not taken, you got to scoop up those embers before they go out, and you got to find a nice little place to set up the fire, right? So just do the most good you can do. Be as healthy as you can be. Be as positive as you can be around others. And don't worry about the haters, okay? They're going to hate. That's their thing. I feel bad for them. And you should too. So you shouldn't hate back. You should meditate on what is influencing their attitude about you. And learn from it. You can learn how to deal with those kind of people better in the future. And you can learn to recognize those people early so you don't end up for a while around them, right? Like if you get into a team, you just start working someplace, and you could tell that most of this team's like, oh man, why are they here? Why, we were good, but now it's like, everything's changing, right? Like I heard that a lot in my last job. Everything's changing so fast, and it gets so complicated, and I'm just like, you don't know complicated. Anyway, stay positive, do what's good for you, and recognize that what's good for you is good for the world. Okay?